Africa, my God, I like the culture. So stop exploiting your resources. When you give away your resources, you give away your strength. You give away your wealth. You give away your energy. Save those things and utilize it on your own people. Come together as one people, united we stand, divided we fall, and save your resources and use it on your people. Educate your people.
Yo, what's popping? I am the Kenyan Beast, and of course I'm doing it the African way. African way is the way to go. We need to do it African way everywhere. There's a video I did for you what Grenadians think about Kenyans, and it was only one Grenadian who was on that video. But in today's video, I decided to get another Grenadian, and I want Africans, or I want us to hear the views of them about, about Africa at large. So in this video is just part 2 of the other video about what Grenadians think about Africa and Africans. So this is part 2 of that video, and tell me in the comment section, what do you think about this video?
So tell us, what is your name and which parish do you come from in Grenada?
My name is Anthony, aka Sunshine, the person that brings joy, laughter, and peace to your life. I am from the beautiful historic parish of St. Patrick's, Riverside to be exact. But I was born in the complex in Sotel, so I'm a St. Patrickian. But I live in St. Andrews, the big parish of Grenada, where everything is nice, sugar and spice, nature at its best.
Which African country you think you are a descendant from, Anthony?
My African descendants, probably Kenya, or maybe Kenya, or Mozambique, or wherever. But I am an African. I am an African along that, just like in Grenada. I am from all over Africa. We are one people. I'm an African, so I'm from all parts of Africa. I'm from there. My relative is widespread, so. But I believe we're from Kenya, maybe. Kenya. Africa.
What do you think and know about African and Africans at large?
African at large, Africa is a very wealthy place. It's a very big place. It has a lot of different languages, different tribes, different culture, different... Africa have a lot of different things to offer, like the love with the African people, the everything. They unite to an extent, you know. Yeah, Africa is home to us. Africa is the motherland, home to everyone.
Why do you love Africa and Africans?
I love Africa and Africans because of the food. I love my belly. And I get some fufu, pounded yam, igusi, pepper soup. Well, let me give you the joke. I went in London. I said I want to try the pepper soup. Why is I eating the food? I said that's cold and cry and tears that coming out in my eyes and my nose.
A lot of pepper?
It's not pepper, it's pepper soup. It's hot. But African, they can cook. I can even cook some of the African food now. The African stew, I can make that. The pounded yam, I can do that. The fufu. I eat a lot of that in England until I start to look like them. I really thought I was African when I was. And the love and support that they show to each other, to everyone. That's what made me love Africa and African people. The food, the atmosphere, the climate, everything. It's nice. It's nice. It reminds me of when I was in England and I met the African people. It reminded me like if I was home in Grenada. I felt so, oh my God, and they're loving people. Africa is just a bunch of loving people. Well, we are a bunch of loving people. Yeah.
Which is your most favorite African country?
I like the cities in Africa. All the cities, the bright lights, Lagos, I forget the name of
Nigeria?
Eh?
Nigeria?
Nigeria. It have, I'm from the city side of Africa because after all, I'm from the bushy Grenada. So I like the, let me not, I'm only saying, but the city is nice, but I like the villages. The little thing I see with the villages, like the cultural part of Africa, I like that. I like the farmlands where they have the farms and they have the, I like to see that. Africa is just home to me. Like, even if I move from Grenada to Africa, I would feel like I'm still home. Like, well, that is me. I just suit in anywhere,
Yeah.
But Africa, my God, I like the culture.
So would you say that as Grenadians we don't have a particular favorite country when it comes to Africa? Africa is just Africa to us.
That's right.
Okay.
It's like, okay, coming in Grenada, there is 7 parishes, and then there is Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimat. It's a tri-island state. But even if you, as an African, come and you go to Carriacou, the love you would get. When you come to St. Patrick's, you would get. St. Andrews, you would get. St. George's, you would get.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's to the north, where I'm from, you would get the same love. So it's not like, okay. But Africa might be different because different places have different culture, different traditions, different way about.
Yeah.
But to me, any part of Africa you go, you would be showered with love. And, they say a lot of things, but...
When they say a lot of things, what do you mean?
Well, like when you watch the news, they make it look like Africa is so poverty-stricken.
Yeah.
Africa, everything you see they saying about people in Africa.
So they always show the negative side?
Yes.
Yeah.
But meeting the few African people I met in my life and the love that they show, and you can bling like an African.
Yeah.
You cannot. Yeah. When you watch an African step out, those that dress with the African way, the African tradition, you can zest and you can bring more. I don't jealous them, because I always want African clothes to wear. If I get African clothes to wear, that alone away, and I dress royally because I come from royalty. My lineage in Africa, we come from royalty, but we're from the Congo.
What message do you have for Africans who do not value Africa?
My message that I have for Africans, whether here, near, far, and abroad, wherever you are, always remember your roots. Always remember where you come from. Unity is strength. United we stand, divided we fall. And there is an old saying from a famous songster. No matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. Africa is known as the motherland, the mother of all nations. Africa is one of the richest continents, or whatever it is, in the world. If they just unite as one people, one nation, one family, under the sun, under the lovely sunshine.
So do you support the fact that Africa should have one president, one currency, one passport, one if you understand where I'm coming from?
That's where the unity comes in.
Yeah.
The divided parts are separating the place. One president with different, if you want to call them, how do they just call them in America? They say them is the in Grenada we say prime minister and ministers.
Right.
In America they say president and senate. No, they just call
senators?
It's senators.
Well, let's say senators. Right.
Well, yes, like you have president and then you have senators.
Yeah.
These people
vice president. Right.
So they are the mayors of the, mayors, I think it's mayors.
Yes.
Of the
mayors, right.
Things.
Yeah.
And start consuming or gathering the resources. Stop exporting it if it does.
Right.
And use the way, because Africa is known for the best gold in the world.
So do you send your message to all other African leaders to follow the footsteps of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and all the other leaders that have kicked out the colonizers that is exploiting their resources?
Yes, I'm with them 100%. Stop exploiting your resources. When you give away your resources, you give away your strength. You give away your wealth. You give away your energy. Save those things and utilize it on your own people. Come together as one people, united we stand, divided we fall, and save your resources and use it on your people. Educate your people. Develop your people. Make your people know that we are one people under the sunshine.
What message do you have for Grenadians or Caribbeans at large who do not want to associate themselves with Africa, or who is ashamed to, call themselves Africans, or ashamed of their African identity?
What should I say to them? Just like I say to the African people. We are all one people. What we were told and what we know, that we came from different parts of Africa. Our own people are the ones who sold our own foreparents to slavery, into slavery. And we were dropped in different islands, Grenada, Jamaica, all different islands, too numerous to mention on a Sunday morning when I'm enjoying my nature. But we came from Africa. We may not directly know who are we family or where are we family and thing, but to me, we are all one people. And if we unite, eventually we are going to take over the world, Africa to the world. So you have to go back to your roots. Sit back and try to see how well you could trace back your lineage. It might be kind of difficult now because a lot of the older folks already die out, and it's the younger generation now. But still, sometimes, like when I was in England, I met plenty people who tell me, hey, you look like this person. You look like that person. You come from Africa? Which part? And they're asking me questions like that, and I'm like, no. But some of them, I say, yes, I'm from Africa, but I left there as a baby. I'm no longer there.
Right.
But they would tell you I look like this person or I look like that person in Africa. So,
yeah. So,
to all my family in Africa, hi.
They are Caribbeans, like Dominican Republic, and I'm not too sure if there's other Caribbean places that is dominantly black, have African descendants, but they don't consider themselves black, they don't consider themselves African. What is your message to them?
I misinterpret. Say again?
There are black people in the Caribbean, like such as Dominican Republic, who don't consider themselves black. They don't consider themselves as descendants of Africans. They may not be 100% African, but there are some descendants. There's DNA of Africanism in them. What is your message to them? They don't see themselves as black people. They don't see themselves as, they are ashamed of their African heritage. What is your message?
Well, the only message I have for them, not a message, assignment. They need to go back and trace back their roots to find out where they're from. So, if they're not from Africa, as they say, then they must know where they're from. Because in order to know where you're going, you must know where you came from. And if you don't know where you come from, how would you know where you're going? How would you know when you get there? But to me, it's okay. Because they're only a slim people, bunch of people. So even though they don't consider themselves to be Africans, whatever they are, they would have to find their true identity anyway.
Okay. Alright. So you heard it, guys. This is a perspective, or this is a perspective of a Grenadian called Anthony Ramsey. This is what he thinks about Africa and Africans.
If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, comment down there, and don't forget to send some super thanks. Thank you. I am the Kenyan Beast. We are rolling the African way.